Welcome back to Buy or Buy. Today we're looking at the 1998 to 2000 Lexus GS400. This is the second generation GS, the S160 chassis sports sedan, and it's actually the very first Lexus GS ever sold with a V8. We're talking about the legendary million-mile U1Z-FE engine, but stuffed into a body that's way lighter and sharper than the LS400. It's a strictly four-door sedan, rear-wheel drive only, rocking that 4.0-liter V8 with VVT-i, and get this, it's paired to a 5-speed Aisin automatic featuring paddle shift buttons. Yep, the first Lexus ever with paddles. These were built at the Toyota Motomachi plant in Japan for just 3 model years before the GS430 took over.
You're getting 300 horsepower at 6,000 RPM.
And 310 pound-feet of torque, hitting at 4,000 RPM.
That translates to 5.7 seconds to 60, pulling all the way to a 149 mile/hour top speed.
Plus, you've got that million-mile 1UZ-FE reputation. This was a 46 grand car brand new, but you can snag one for about 8 grand on the used market today. But watch out, there's a strict 90,000 mile timing belt deal breaker we've got to talk about. Ultimately, this is a true BMW 540i killer, packed with undeniable Toyota reliability. Let's get into the explainer. Section 1. Who and cross-shop.
So who is this car actually for? Well, it hits a really fascinating cross-section of the car world. First up, you've got your Lexus heritage collectors, who desperately want that fabled 1UZ-FE V8, but they want it in a taut sports sedan body, not the softer LS400. Then, there are the value buyers. You know, the folks craving BMW 540i pace but demanding Toyota reliability. It's literally the perfect platform for heavy commuters who put 300,000 miles on their cars and run them hard. Plus, there's the tuner community. The 1UZ-FE and this S160 chassis make an incredibly popular base for drift and engine swap builds. And of course, you've got your used market hunters proing that $8,000 to $12,000 range. Honestly, that's usually anyone who's been totally burned by German maintenance costs in the past.
Now, if you're hunting for a GS400, you're definitely cross-shopping the heavy hitters of that era. The most obvious rival is the BMW E39 540i. You might even look at the hand-built inline-6 BMW E34 M5 from this batch, the naturally aspirated Mercedes E430 W2010, or maybe the supercharged V6 Mercedes C32 AMG. Some might even consider the Audi S4 B5, though that's a much more complex all-wheel drive twin-turbo manual setup. You could even look internally at a Lexus LS400 or an SC400 coupe. Bottom line, the GS400 delivers European sports sedan performance without the catastrophic European repair bills.
Section 2. The Gems. Let's look at the engineering pedigree. For the 1998 GS400 launch, Lexus took the already legendary 4.0-liter 1UZ-FE V8 and bolted on variable valve timing with intelligence, or VVT-i. This specific edition was a total game-changer, pushing that naturally aspirated V8 to a defining 300 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque. It is a 32-valve, dual overhead cam masterpiece with an aluminum block and heads, delivering power that feels incredibly smooth, almost turbine-like.
And Lexus packaged that power beautifully. They made it to a 5-speed Aisin A650E automatic. Historically speaking, this is actually the very first Lexus to feature steering wheel paddle shift buttons, which was a huge deal. Down below, you're getting serious premium chassis components, a 4-wheel double-wishbone independent suspension, speed-sensitive rack and pinion steering, 4-wheel anti-lock disc brakes, and an incredibly sleek 0.29 aerodynamic drag coefficient.
Inside, it absolutely defines premium 90s luxury. We're talking gorgeous walnut wood trim, standard leather with memory seats, an integrated garage door opener, dual front and side airbags, dual-zone auto climate, and an engine immobilizer. The heritage here is massive too. Assembled at the Toyota Motomachi plant in Japan alongside the LS, it shares a JDM sibling in the Toyota Aristo V300. Back in 1998, its $46,000 launch price aggressively undercut the BMW 540i and Mercedes E430 by $5,000 to $8,000. Today, grabbing one for $7,000 to $15,000 makes this 300,000-plus mile engine incredibly accessible. Bottom line, it's the pinnacle of 90s Lexus build quality bolted to a legendary V8.
Section 3. The Issues. Okay, let's bring it back to reality and talk about the mechanical weak points. Under certain operating conditions, the 1UZ-FE acts as an interference engine. What does that mean for you? Well, if the timing belt snaps, the pistons will physically hit the open valves, and the engine will literally destroy itself. It's just that simple. Because of that, a timing belt service on the GS400 is strictly required every 90,000 miles.
A full service is going to set you back between $800 and $1,500. And listen, this must include the belt, the water pump, the idler pulleys, the tensioner, and the front crank seal. Outside of this timing belt, the engine is famously bulletproof, frequently clearing 300,000 miles with just basic oil changes. But skipping this service, that is an absolute walk-away deal-breaker.
Beyond the belt, you should expect some moderate wear items commensurate with its age. After 200,000 miles, the A650E transmission shift solenoids or valve body can wear out, leading to a $400 to $800 rebuild to fix harsh shifts. Around 150,000 miles, valve cover gaskets start to weep oil, but that's a manageable $200 to $400 DIY fix. You might also encounter rough idles from a failing $150 mass airflow sensor. Heat cycling can make the knock sensor wiring brittle, requiring a $300 to $500 repair, and the power steering pump may occasionally leak past 200,000 miles. To put that in perspective, these are highly acceptable issues for a quarter-century-old car, but you absolutely must budget for them.
Finally, the minor nuisances. On 1998 and 1999 builds, the instrument cluster LCD ribbon degrades, causing dead pixels. That's about a $300 to $500 refurb. The optional HID xenon lenses will inevitably fade and oxidize, requiring a $200 polish or replacement. Also, remember this high-compression engine demands premium 91+ octane fuel, and you may encounter a very rare, slow heater core drain. Aesthetically, the original DVD navigation and OEM cassette decks are, frankly, completely obsolete. Bottom line, verify the timing belt, accept the minor electronic edging, and the drivetrain will easily outlive the body.
Verdict: buy. Let's talk about the exact parameters.
The 1998 to 2000 Lexus GS400 is the bulletproof 1UZ-FE V8 wrapped in a sports sedan body. You get 300 horsepower, a 5.7-second sprint to 60, paddle shifters, and beautiful walnut wood. Buy any 1998 to 2000 GS400 under $12,000 if it's a solid driver. If you manage to find a clean 60,000-mile cream puff, buy it at $13,000 to $15,000. I promise you, it is still infinitely cheaper than buying a basket case BMW E39 540i. Just ensure the timing belt service is documented within the last 30,000 miles. Look for recent valve cover gaskets. Verify the transmission shifts cleanly, especially if it's over 200,000 miles. Check that the MAF sensor is functional and always demand a complete service history.
On the flip side, say bye to any car with an unknown timing belt history or visible belt cracking. Walk away from any engine knock whatsoever. If the transmission is slipping or slamming into gear, just leave. And while it's super rare on these Japan-built chassis, thoroughly check for rust on the rocker panels and walk if you find it. You definitely do not want to inherit a $3,000 repair bill on an $8,000 car.
Sure, you can cross-shop that $25,000 to $45,000 BMW E34 M5 if you really want that hand-built German experience. But remember this, the Lexus GS400 is hands down the cheapest way to own a 300-horsepower Lexus V8. It's the bulletproof 90 sports sedan that actually starts every single morning and genuinely survives 300,000 miles. So what do you think? Have you ever owned a GS400 or tackled that timing belt yourself? Let me know. Keep learning, keep driving, and I'll catch you on the next explainer.